Okay, you guys, I'm actually very, very excited because my home dog, my boy, JD Vance, brought his big dick energy to Minnesota. And also, Elon Musk brought his big dick energy as well to the World Economic Forum. Now, you don't have to tell me twice that this is a very sexy event. Now, let's type in JD Vance. Okay, we'll do this from the Associated Press real quick, and all right, we're gonna watch this, man. We're excited. JD Vance, dude, the GOAT. And JD knows there's a bunch of crazies. There's a bunch of crazy people in Minnesota, so they probably have tons of Secret Service agents, tons of security for this, because there's so many crazy people, there's so many crazy left-wing lunatics in Minnesota. So I think what JD Vance is doing is incredibly intelligent here by having the security and everything, and just kind of doing the right thing. Now, I have no idea what JD Vance is going to say in this presser. Now, this was streamed about 10 hours ago. I'm very excited to hear what he has to say. I'm curious. And I love JD Vance. My man has BDE, big dick energy. All right? He's the man, dude. Let's keep going.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing? Good. So I want to thank the law enforcement officers behind me for being here. I'll answer a few questions, but I want to say just a few things at the outset, just about what I've learned today and what I'm trying to do here. You know, first of all, I want to give a shout out to the Annunciation school shooting families, because, you know, the last time I was in Minneapolis, it was, of course, to meet with some of those families. I understand that a couple of the students have made near miraculous recoveries, and just that was a very special moment for me to be invited into that community at a time of grief. And I hope that all of them know that though I didn't get to see them this particular time, I've been thinking about them and their families quite a bit. Now, to talk about what I am.
I've been thinking about you quite a bit, JD. You're the man. But no, he's a kind-hearted soul. You know, that's the one thing I like about JD, and that people don't really. I don't think people give JD enough credit. My man has. I think my man has a big heart. Dude. And he's the man, dude. I love JD Vance.
I'm here to do, which is federal law enforcement to enforce our immigration laws. I want to say just a few things. First of all, I wanted to meet with business leaders, with ICE officers, with local law enforcement to try to understand a little bit better what's going on, so that we can...
Oh, and by the way, we're trying to get to 100 likes in the next 30 minutes, so don't forget to tap the like button. Thank you, guys.
Can tone down the temperature a little bit, reduce the chaos, but still allow us, as a federal government, to enforce the American immigration laws. That is the purpose of my visit. Now, this is, step one or step two of that process. There's going to be a lot of work that follows through from here. I'm happy to talk about that, but I think I learned a few things that were very important. So number one of the things I learned is that the guys behind me are doing an incredible job, and frankly, a lot of the media is lying about the job that they do every single day. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't occasionally stories out there, there aren't occasionally videos out there that suggest that these guys, or at least some of the people who work for them, are not doing everything right. But very often, if you look at the context of what's going on, you understand that these people are under an incredible...
No, and they're doing... And by the way, I think ICE, for the most part, is doing a decent job. They're doing what they're ordered to do. And what they're ordered to do is to go in and basically get the illegal immigrants off the street. It's as simple as that. It's as cut and dry as that. But of course, liberals want to make this to seem like a bigger deal than it actually is. But don't forget to tap the like button, you guys. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. It does help me feel bigger. Elon Musk and JD Vance, they got big dick energy. I've got small dick energy. I've accepted that in my life. But I want you guys to like the stream if you can. Liking the stream really helps, and also tapping the subscribe button too. But let's keep watching, man. JD Vance is such a hunk. Look at that man, dude. He's so good.
Incredible amount of duress, an incredible amount of chaos, and because of a few very far left agitators, a lot of these guys are unable to do their jobs without being harassed, without being doxxed, and sometimes without being assaulted. That's totally unacceptable. And that's one of the things that I want to send a message to is, yes, come out and protest me, protest.
Yeah, protesting is fine, by the way. But what a lot of the leftists are doing to these ICE agents is honestly uncalled for. They're just trying to do their job. And by the way, it is not illegal to enforce illegal immigration policies. And if they're trying to get illegal immigrants off the street, that's the goal. And you know the irony is, did you notice that a lot of the ICE agents are actually minorities? Not every single one of them, but there's quite a few that I've noticed. You got Mexican ICE agents, you got black ICE agents. And then when you see the Karens who are protesting, the ICE agents, they all tend to be very, very white. And I noticed, the irony is there's more diversity in ICE when it comes to races. There's more diversity in ICE than there is in the Democrat Party these days. That's what I noticed. And, you could call me whatever you want. I don't really care at this point. But I know what I'm saying is true to some degree. And I think you know that I'm right.
Our immigration policy, but do it peacefully. If you assault a law enforcement officer.
Oh, you guys, like I said, don't forget to tap the like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes in 30 minutes. Once again, we're trying to get to 100 likes in 30 minutes. We just started the stream, and we're trying to see how many likes we can get on the stream. If you can, also subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow in more ways than one. Please subscribe. It really helps. Let's keep going.
The Trump administration and the Department of Justice is going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. And I wanted to show some support for these guys who, frankly, are operating in a very, very tough environment. I heard a lot of stories today about that I think drives home just how chaotic the...
Yeah, so Bud Russell is saying 48% of ICE is minorities, without a doubt. That doesn't shock me in any way. That honestly doesn't shock me in any freaking way. Because I think a lot of these, by the way, I think a lot of the minorities who are enlisted in ICE know that there's too many illegal immigrants. There's too many people crossing illegally into this country. So I'm very happy. Hey, Jack's Cab Confessions, by the way. Jack's Cab Confessions. I just got a boner. Mr. Garza, the one, the only, looking slim. In that true classic, one and only question, what's on the menu tonight? I just ate some bread rolls. I very well may, eat some peaches in front of you guys, which I think I'm going to do here in a second. Because, oh my God, if there's one guy that's going to pop my cherry, it's going to be JD Vance. Oh my God, I hope. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm saying that for comedy, just to let everybody know. But damn, dude, I love JD, dude. He's got BDE, big dick energy. And whether you like to admit it or not, dude, my man's got BDE. He's got that big dick energy. But don't forget to tap the like button if you love JD Vance. Just tap the like button right now. Do it. If you are in love with JD Vance the way I'm in love with JD Vance, just tap the like button. If you think he's the man, tap the like button. Let's keep going.
The environment on the ground here has already gotten. For example, did you know that within the last, I think, week or so, maybe even more recently than that, you had a couple of ICE officers who were off duty, who had been doxxed online, who were sitting and having a meal at a restaurant in Minneapolis when a bunch of agitators showed up, locked the door, made them feel like they were in danger for their lives, and then, of course, it was federal law enforcement officers who had to come up, lower the temperature on the situation, and actually get those two off-duty officers to a point of safety. Now,
that is crazy, man. And what's wild is a lot of these agitators in Minnesota, here's the thing, if JD Vance is telling them to turn the temperature down, you know what these woke extreme rioters are going to do? You know what these woke people are going to do? They're just going to turn the volume up. They're going to go crazier. They're going to turn the temperature up. Here's the problem with woke people. You can't really reason with a woke person. Reasoning with a woke person is like trying to negotiate with a bear. You're gonna have a lot of trouble. Also, please make sure that you tap the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're really trying to reach 8,000 subs. We recently reached 7,000 subscribers, and I'm very excited about that, by the way. Like, I am like sprung right now thinking about it, but let's keep going.
Now imagine, if you would, your life and your perspective on law enforcement if you can't even go to a restaurant without some agitators locking the door and making you feel like your life is in danger. That is the environment that has been created, I think, by a lot of very, frankly, far-left people, but also by some of the state and local law enforcement officials who could do a much better job in cooperating and working. And by the way...
Hey, tap the like button if you agree with JD Vance. If you guys agree with JD Vance on these topics, tap the like button. Because JD's the man. And we know it. We know that JD Vance is the man deep down. We know that when we look into that man's eyes, we know he's a stud. We know he's a stud. So if you guys agree with JD Vance, just tap that like button, man.
I'm not talking about the cops who these guys told me on the ground. The cops are very sympathetic to what they're dealing with. I'm talking about the state and local elected law enforcement officials who could do a lot better job in making their lives a little bit easier. And in the process, they would make the lives of all Minneapolis residents easier, and that's what we want. We want to be able to enforce the immigration laws on the one hand, while on the other hand, we want to make sure that people in Minneapolis are able to go about their day. And I want to say just one last point on this. So I heard from a business leader today who told me a very tough story, and I think so much of what's gone wrong in Minneapolis is people not trying to understand the perspective of somebody else. Try to understand what somebody else is experiencing, whether they're a law enforcement officer or anybody in the community here in Minneapolis.
Oh, and by the way, on the left, there is a huge lack of empathy. A lot of the leftists that are in the streets going the crazy Karens, they lack empathy. All they can do is, if you have an ICE uniform on, they're going to treat you like a Nazi. And they're going to have zero empathy for you, even though you're just doing lawful orders. You're a part of the federal government, man. So I'm basically on board. I'm on board with ICE. I'm on board with JD Vance. By the way, if you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, if you're feeling JD Vance's vibes, feel free to tap the like button, man. Praise the Lord, dude. JD Vance is so cool. Like, I am legitimately a JD Vance fan. So tap the like button if you're a fan of JD Vance, just like I am.
So they told me a story about this manufacturing facility where an illegal immigrant was being arrested. And as these employees are going into the manufacturing facility, all of a sudden, an illegal immigrant shows up. They don't know it's an illegal immigrant. And then a bunch of ICE officers descend. Now, these people just want to go to work. They want to go to work safely. And now, all of a sudden, there's a major law enforcement operation happening right outside their place of business. Now, from one perspective, I certainly understand why a business leader or why an employee would say, whoa, what's going on? It's a little scary, no matter your position in life, if a bunch of cop cars show up and they're arresting somebody. Now, the additional context is that we know that people online have been encouraging illegal immigrants that one way.
And this is the problem, is a lot of the online agitators. The online agitators that are getting on Facebook groups, and a lot of them are getting on Facebook groups probably, or Telegram or whatever, and they're all meeting up in these spots. And I think and here's the thing, there are these woke groups that their sole purpose in life is to track down what ICE is doing. They're woke, they're annoying, and all they want to do, though, is track down what ICE is doing. Crazy. Cray-cray.
The way they can evade arrest is by showing up at a legitimate place of business, making it impossible for these guys to actually enforce our immigration laws. So while I can understand...
Oh, also, if you guys do love JD Vance as much as I do, feel free to tap the subscribe button, too, so you don't miss any more content. But If you're already subscribed, also just tap the like button if you can. Tapping the like button does wonders for the algorithm. But yeah, we love JD Vance on this channel, and so I hope you guys tap like for your love of JD Vance too, and a love of this channel. Let's keep going. 'Cause I need you and I want you crawling underneath my
the
skin.
perspective of somebody who doesn't want to see
Like
an arrest
the
happen at their
hunger.
place of work. I can also understand the perspective of our immigration enforcement officers who have to do their job and can't allow a heckler's.
And by the way, tap the like button if you're on board with ICE, because I'm on board with ICE, man. I'll tell you what. At this point, I'm on board with them. The sad part is they're more diverse than the Democrat Party. ICE is more diverse because it's like there's a lot of minorities that are serving in ICE. So, yeah. The irony is minorities actually want to apply for this. And the problem is all these woke white Karens are against this, dude. Yeah, exactly. Screw the hecklers, dude. Screw the hecklers. The hecklers got no. I don't have any sympathy for the hecklers. The hecklers know what they're doing. They're being pieces of shit. And but yeah, keep going, JD Vance. Keep preaching.
Over our immigration enforcement, and so much of what's gone wrong is the failure to do that. And here's the point. We can do a good job of enforcing our immigration laws without the chaos, but it actually requires the cooperation of state and local officials. If you look at blue cities.
Hey, Silver Charm, did you know that I'm 11% Aztec? Did you know that my descendants, 11% of my DNA is Aztecian DNA? So by all technicality, I'm a native to some degree. At least 11% of me is a native to some degree. But my descent, I am. By the way, I'm 25% Hispanic on the on the racial charts. Just to let you know, just as a heads up. So if you want to say that I'm occupying this land, technically, my ancestors, which were also, by the way, Aztecians. It's based on my brother's 23andMe, by the way. Those stats are based on my brother's 23andMe.
And blue states, red cities and red states. You go to Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee. You go to the state.
Also, if you guys can, like I said, make sure just tap the like button if you love JD Vance. Tap the like button if you love America, for God's sakes. And you know what? Tap the like button if you love ICE. I love all of them, man. I love America. I think what ICE is doing, by the way, and because the woke people, the wokies, because the woke people don't like ICE, I love ICE. Because the woke people hate JD Vance, I love JD Vance. The woke people don't like Donald Trump, I love Donald Trump. Anything the wokes hate, I love. Because woke people are so effing annoying. Woke people are the worst. But yeah, make sure you guys tap the like button if you love JD Vance as much as I do. I mean, not going to lie. I would rather have Vance in my pants than walls in my balls.
Texas, obviously a very red state, or the state of Tennessee, a very red state, but you've got blue cities within those states. You do not have this level of chaos. The reason why things have gotten so out of hand is because of failure of cooperation between the state and local authorities and what these guys are trying to do. We have a ton of resources, a ton of ICE agents in this city right now that I would rather us not have. I'd love.
Silver Charm is saying I'm in the closet. No, I'm pretty open, dude. I mean, I'm Trump sexual and I'm Vance sexual. I don't think I'm in the closet at all because I've told you guys already. I am very Vance sexual. I am Trump sexual. But yeah, no. Like I said, if you guys love JD Vance and you think he's the best vice president, and by the way, if you guys want Vance to run in 2028 as president, and if you guys want Vance to be the president, tap the frickin' like button, dude. Let's go, dude. Tap the like button if you love JD Vance, man. Let's spread the love. I want to spread the love of JD Vance, dude. I think he's the man. I think he's a well-spoken individual. And JD Vance, I'm proud to have him as our vice president. I can't think of anybody else who I'd rather have. Isn't it sad that we almost had Tim Walz as our vice president? That could have been a reality, unfortunately. Luckily, people knew better, and they voted for Trump and Vance. So, yeah, if you love JD Vance as much as I do, please tap that like button, man. Let's go.
To send those guys home. They're not even doing targeted immigration enforcement. They are trying to protect ICE officers who are doing immigration enforcement, because when a crowd surrounds them and these guys call 911, the local officials, the local cops have been told.
I tried everything. Coffee.
Oh, no. Not another ad.
So we have people here who aren't even doing immigration enforcement, they're doing force protection. So that if a rioter tries to ruin the life or assault an ICE officer, they're actually protected. Now, why doesn't it make more sense for the local cops to get involved in that situation? Why not just have the mayor or the local officials tell the police officers, you know what, if an ICE officer is being assaulted by a far-left agitator, you are invited, you should actually help them. That's what would work out in any normal situation, and that's what happens in nearly...
So do you guys agree with JD Vance on that? I do. I'm not going to lie. I'm listening to what JD's having to say. And I got to say I'm in agreement. And by the way, like I said, if you guys agree with JD Vance, tap the like button, man. Spread the love. Spread the freaking love and tap that like button, man. Let's go. Frog Eat Frog is saying Garza 2028. Hey, guys, tap the like button if you want Garza 2028. Garza Frog Eat Frog 2028. That's what we need. Garza Tim Smith 2028. Let's go. Tap the like button if you... Hey, you know what? Tap the like button if you guys think I should run for office in my local county. Do you guys think I should run for office in Coos County? Tap the like button, man, if you want me to.
Every jurisdiction, red or blue, in the United States of America. The reason it hasn't happened here is because the local authorities have been told, stand down, do not help ICE, promote the violence, promote the agitation, but don't do anything to lower the temperature and lower the chaos. That's a problem. Here's another example of how the lack of cooperation between state and local officials
Oh, and also, if you guys can, if you guys love, like I said, if you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, please subscribe to the channel. It does help the channel grow. And, you know, if you agree with JD Vance, you know, tap the like button, tap the subscribe button. We need as many followers as possible. We love JD Vance on this channel. And we love, like, I'm a Vance supporter, dude. I want Vance 2028. So please tap the subscribe button if you can. It really helps.
Makes it harder for us to do our job and turns up the temperature. Let's say, for example, we have a criminal migrant who is a sex offender. And let's say that we've got to go and arrest that person who, Democrat or Republican, wants a sex offender living in their community. I would hope that most people don't. But because they're an illegal alien, we don't know their last address.
Thank you, Jack's Cab Confessions. I love you too, brother. And Frog Eat Frog, thank you, my brony. I appreciate you, man. Feline Gaming, what up, brony? Tristan Allen says Garza 2028. Heck yeah, dude. Frog Eat Frog wants Garza 2028. Feline Gaming wants Garza 2028, I'm assuming. Tristan Allen's saying Garza 2028. All the bronies. All my brony brothers. 50 likes? Whoa, dude. We're at 49 likes. Hey, you guys. If you guys are loving the channel and you guys love JD Vance, just tap the like button, man. The more likes we get, the better. The more likes we get, the more it'll pump it out on the algorithm, and the more people I can actually annoy. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing. Hey, Tibby the broker, thank you so much for your subscription. Just subscribing to the channel, by the way, I really appreciate it.
Laugh out loud.
If you got Debbie Radar, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. We're getting tons of subscribers right now. Like I said, if you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, I hope you guys subscribe to the channel. I really do, because if you love JD Vance, I love JD Vance. I hope you subscribe to the channel because it really does help the channel grow. We are growing at such a rapid pace on this channel. It's insane. Like, it's insane.
We may have known their address 3 years ago, but we don't know their address now. What we'd like to do is talk to local officials and say, you know what? According to the Medicaid rolls, Where was the last address this person was domiciled? Or according to a SNAP application, a food stamps application, maybe that could give us insight to where this person is today. Or maybe they had some local court trouble. We could go to the courthouse or even the local jail and try to find where this criminal sex offender is.
Yeah, and they're looking, by the way, they're looking for people, who actually have criminal records, who have crossed the border illegally or come here illegally by some sort of means. So they're trying to get rid of people who have violent criminal records, and they're just sending them right back to their country of origin, basically. That is what is happening, man. That's what's happening.
Today, the local authorities have been told, do not cooperate. So these guys are trying to go out and enforce the law. They're trying to arrest sex offenders, but they're trying to do it in an environment where local officials have been told.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Turn35617, for the high five. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you a high five back. Hey, we encourage gifts on this channel, by the way, so if you want to give us a gift, we really appreciate it. But I will say this. If you guys can, please, for the love of God, tap the subscribe button if you love JD Vance, man. Dude, I really am legitimately a Vance fan. I love Donald Trump, but I love JD Vance just as much. And I'm really hoping for a JD Vance Marco Rubio 2028 ticket. That's what I want deep down in my soul of souls, my heart of hearts. But yeah, if you guys could tap the subscribe button, it really helps the channel grow in more ways than one. We're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers before the end of the month. I think we could probably pull that off, actually. I think we can get to 8,000 subscribers before the end of the month. But yeah, if you love JD Vance as much as I do, I just hope you take the time to subscribe to the channel. Just tapping the subscribe button goes a long way, and I think we all love JD Vance here. So let's go. I love hearing him speak. He's so eloquent. He's so good at speaking. Like, honestly, JD Vance is a masterclass on how to publicly speak like a champion. And you know what? ICE is doing the right thing. They're just investigating actual illegal immigrant activity. They're asking for the necessary paperwork. I mean, ICE is doing a good job. They're a federal agency, and I know that you guys have no respect for ICE, unfortunately, all you leftists in the chat, but I don't really care what you think. They're still a federal agency. Don't mess with them. Let them conduct their federal investigations accordingly. And if they are doing something wrong, make sure you videotape it, of course, or not videotape it, use your camera phone. Everybody's got a camera on their phone these days. Record it, send it to the local police or send it to wherever you got to send it, and then that way it's on record.
Told, do not help them, do not provide intelligence about where these sex offenders might be. This is disgraceful. And there are a lot of things that all of us could do better to lower the temperature, but the number one thing that I learned today is that the best way to facilitate...
Jack's Cab Confessions is saying Garza and Vance have the same eyes. Hell yeah, dude. Make sure you guys tap the like button if you can't help but stare into JD Vance's eyes. He's an amazing human being, dude. He is a fantastic speaker. And I could listen to JD Vance talk all day, dude. If you guys can, tap the like button, because if you love JD Vance as much as I do, I hope you tap the like button as a result, because I think we all love JD Vance. So tap that like button if you're in love with JD Vance the way I'm in love with him, man. We all love JD Vance. And then thank you, Derek Johnson, for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it, my brony brother. Turn35617 just sent a 6-7. I'm going to do that gay 6-7 thing real quick. Here we go. I'm juggling balls. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, my brony brother. Thank you. But yeah, if you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, please, for the love of God, tap that like button. It really goes a long way. Let's keep watching this rock star in action, dude. He's so good. Like, I really am a JD Vance fan.
Facilitate reasonable enforcement of the law, but also to lower the chaos in Minneapolis would be for state and local officials to cooperate. Now, I will say, on one final positive note, I actually think that there's some hope, some reason to think that there's going to be better cooperation in the weeks and months to come. I think that because I've talked to some of the local officials here. I think there are reasons to believe
he's great.
That these people are going to step up and actually ask the cops to protect our ICE officers when they're being assaulted, who are going to ask the local courts to cooperate with getting criminal sex offenders out of our community. That's a good thing. That's the good news, and that's something I'm going to work on when I get back to Washington. But please, if you're a local official, if you're the mayor of this town, if you have any influence over those people, just tell them to cooperate. Because we could have immigration enforcement operate as smoothly and without the chaos that we see in Austin, Texas, or Memphis, Tennessee, or even rural parts of the state of Minnesota. All we need is a little cooperation. I guarantee you, we're going to do the best to be professional.
Give a little bit of my time to you. There's a time that we need to share. Oh, send a smile. Anyway, dude, JD Vance is right on the money, dude. JD Vance is legitimately trying to turn down the temperature, and I have nothing but respect for it. This is why I love JD, dude. I think he wants peace more than anything. I think he wants peace between the ICE officers, the ICE agents, and the local crazy leftist lunatic Karens that are trying to make ICE agents' life worse. And by the way, I'm on the side of the ICE agent at the end of the day. I think ICE is doing what they have to do, man. But thank you so much. I appreciate all the subscribes, everybody. This is amazing.
To respect people's rights, to not do anything that we don't.
Oh, also, once again, tap the like button if you love this channel. If you're loving what this channel's putting out right now, if you're loving what my channel's putting out right now, if you love the reaction videos, tap the like button, man.
Have to do in order to enforce immigration laws, but it would make our lives a lot easier, it would make our officers a lot safer, and it would make Minneapolis much less chaotic if we had a little bit of cooperation from the state and local officials. With that, I'll shut up and take some questions.
I don't know if it's going to happen, man.
Vice President Vance, a local school district here is alleging ICE agents detaining a 5-year-old after preschool on Tuesday. We've also seen multiple American citizens detained by ICE or harassed by ICE in the last 6 weeks. Are you proud of how your administration is conducting this immigration crackdown here in Minnesota right now?
The fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid. I actually saw this terrible story while I was coming to Minneapolis. We just left Toledo, Ohio this morning for an economic messaging event. And I see this story, and I'm a father of a 5-year-old, actually, a 5-year-old little boy. And I think to myself, oh my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research. And what I find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien, and then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So the story is...
Oh, shit. So the media, as they always do, flubbed the story. They lied. The media always lies. I can't stand the media. I don't trust the mainstream media for the life of me. I don't. And this is why you can't trust a CNN headline. You can't trust a Fox News headline. You can't even trust MSNBC. They're all crooked, right? Nobody trusts the mainstream media. By the way, just to let you guys know, if you guys cannot stand the mainstream media, tap the like button. Tap the like button if you think the mainstream media just needs to go. Tap that like button if you just can't stand the mainstream media. Tap that like button, man. Let's go.
That ICE detained a 5-year-old, well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America?
Yeah, you kind of have to, because if the father's going to run and leave the child behind, then of course you can't just leave the child unattended. What the ICE agents did sounds correct. This is crazy, man.
Argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement. That doesn't make any sense. No one thinks that makes any sense. Now, there are so many of these cases like that where if you just understand the context, there have been a number of situations that I've looked into personally where I say, wait a second, we don't want ICE arresting American citizens.
But you guys definitely make sure that you tap the like button if you're enjoying this. Tap the like button. If you're enjoying watching JD Vance right now, or at least watching me react to JD Vance, or just if you just love JD Vance, tap the like button, man.
They're supposed to be enforcing the immigration laws against illegal aliens. So then I look into it and I find out that the American citizen who was arrested took a swing at an ICE officer. You can't have that happen. And of course they have to.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're taking a swing at the ICE officer, yeah, if you're attacking an officer, whether it's federal or local, that's grounds for being arrested. By the way, that's grounds for being arrested. Holy shit, man.
To defend themselves, and of course they have the right to detain somebody who assaults a law enforcement officer. Now, this is my point. Do we want these things to happen? Do we want these arrests to be so chaotic? No, we don't. These guys want it least of all, but if we had a...
Hey, you guys, if you're enjoying the show, please tap the subscribe button. If you love JD Vance as much as I do, tap that subscribe button. Let's go.
A little cooperation from local and from local and state officials, I think the chaos would go way down in this community.
President!
Go ahead.
After the Renee Good
Laugh out loud.
The administration seemed to suggest...
Yeah, well, you can go next.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you pointed it
No,
out.
that's fine.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Valeria Diaz. Thank you so much. Let's give a shout out, by the way, to all the people that subscribed that Streamlabs was able to pull up. We're just going to give a shout out real quick.
Loud.
We're going to give a shout out to Debbie Radar. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. Tibby the Broker, I appreciate you too. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Laugh out loud.
And then we got Derek Johnson. Thank you for subscribing. And then Valeria Diaz. Thank you so much for subscribing. You guys are incredible.
Laugh out loud.
I'll take both.
After the Renee Good shooting, sir, the administration seemed to... After the Renee Good shooting, the administration seemed to suggest that ICE officers enjoyed near complete
Laugh out loud.
immunity. But today you told the Washington Examiner that when appropriate, the administration might take disciplinary actions against ICE agents. So is that a change in opinion? And if so, why the change in tone?
No, I didn't say, and I don't think any other official within the Trump administration said that officers who engaged in wrongdoing would enjoy immunity. That's absurd. What I did say is that when federal law enforcement officers violate the law, that is typically something that federal officials would look into. We don't want these guys to have kangaroo courts. We want them to actually have real due process, real investigation, because again, sometimes they're accused of wrongdoing, and it turns out when you look...
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like if the ICE officer was tried in a Minnesota court, obviously we all know what the sentencing would be. He would be in jail for life, even though Renee Good was in the wrong. You know, I'm still not a fan of the ICE officer shooting her, though. Even though she did hit him with the vehicle, I'm still not a fan of the ICE officer shooting her. I think that was pretty unnecessary. It still pisses me off a little bit. So I'm really not taking anybody's side in that altercation. I do think they need. I do think that they need to train the ICE officers a little bit better to handle those situations just a little bit better.
Learn the context, they didn't actually do anything wrong. But of course we're going to investigate these things. Of course we're investigating the Renee Good shooting, but we're investigating them in a way that respects people's rights and that ensures that if somebody did something wrong, yes, they're going to face disciplinary action, but we're not going to judge them in the court of public opinion. I've spoken at length on this particular case. I think that Renee Good's death is a tragedy. I also think that she rammed an ICE officer with her car. So the tragedy here is multi-layered. The tragedy is there was a misunderstanding. The tragedy is that Renee Good lost her life. The tragedy is that you have ICE officers who are going into communities where they're worried that if they call 911, no one's going to come to help them. That is what produces this terrible situation, and it's something state and local officials here in Minnesota.
And by the way, I'm saying that Renee Good, she was in the wrong too. She was in the wrong for hitting the ICE officer with her car. Also, don't forget to tap the like button. If you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, please tap the like button and tap the subscribe button as well. I mean, dude, JD Vance has beautiful eyes. Can I say that without it being too gay? Like, is it gay for me to think that JD Vance has beautiful eyes? Tap the like button if you love JD Vance.
It could solve.
Mr. Vice
Yes, sir.
President.
Could you give us a message
towards March for Life tomorrow, especially in regard to this cooperation and family values. It's a shame the kids have to get caught up in all this. And, towards that, sir.
Well, it is a shame that kids have to get caught up in this. I am speaking at March for Life tomorrow. I'm pro-life, and I'm very excited to.
Yeah, Actus is saying it was 80% Renee's fault, 20% ICE. Yeah, I believe 80% of it was Renee's fault. Absolutely, that's a good ratio right there. And look at the ICE agent didn't need to shoot her. I think if he didn't shoot her, you know what the result would have been if he didn't shoot her? She would have rammed him with the car. She would have been arrested for hitting an ICE agent, and she would have been in jail for a while. That's just how it goes. You can't just hit a federal agent with your car. That's not the way the world works. Just because you're upset and just because you're a woke little whiner doesn't mean that you could just start hitting people with your car like a maniac. Also, if you guys are loving the show right now, tap the like button. We need the likes. We love the likes, actually. But yeah, tap the like button if you love JD Vance too.
Speak there. I want to talk about local law enforcement, but I am, as a child, I saw people in my family get arrested. It's terrible. It's heartbreaking. It's chaotic. It's traumatic for the kids. I can recognize that, and I can recognize that we got to support these kids. While on the other hand, saying that just because you're a parent doesn't mean that you get complete immunity from law enforcement. And
I mean, that's true. For example, what about those like drunken wine moms that are like drinking and driving while having the kid in the back of the car? Are you saying that they shouldn't be arrested for drunk driving while having their child in the car as well? Yeah, I think so. They should be arrested. Without a doubt. That's what I think. Just because you have a child with you and doesn't mean that you're immune from being arrested for doing the wrong thing. If you're harassing ICE agents and your child is with you, that's even worse. I think this is terrible. You're using your own child as a shield, you sick woke Karens.
I think we have to hold both of those thoughts in our head at the same time. We've got to be sympathetic to the kids who are caught up in some of these enforcement actions. We've also got to say we have to enforce the law without bias, with fairness, but we've got to enforce the law.
Mr. Vice President!
Yeah, but if you guys can, tap the like button if you love JD Vance. Like I'm saying, man, if you love JD Vance like I do, how about this? If you want Vance 2028, if you want Vance 2028, just tap that like button, baby. Let's go. I love Vance. Like, I really do think he's the coolest dude in the world. Like, I'm a fan, dude. I'm a total fanboy of JD Vance.
There was a class in Power a few weeks ago, and their mayor said they haven't heard about ICE being in the city, and how does ICE kind of proactively work with these local agencies? What are those policies, and what's your response to that?
You said there was an altercation in St. Cloud. Yeah.
Oh, hey, turn 3 just sent a happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. I'm going to everywhere. Happy poop. Oh, man, Tim Smith says, can someone please tell Vance I'm Karen in the streets, but mega in the sheets. Balls deep in Vance. Once again, Tim Smith says, can someone please tell Vance I'm a Karen in the sheets, but mega. Oh, sorry, Karen in the streets, but mega in the sheets. That's freaking sexy. And by the way, if you guys love Tim Smith's comment, please tap the like button. If you guys think that comment is super sexy and super badass, tap the like button, man.
The mayor said that ICE did not communicate with them if they were in the city for immediate operations, but police chief did not know about the operation at the time. Could you talk a little bit about proactive communication?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the takeaways. I've talked with these guys before we came on the stage, but during our roundtable and some of the other conversations we've had, communication, we absolutely want to ensure there's good communication between federal officials and state and local officials, and I'm sure that we can do better on that. We absolutely want to make sure that we are communicating, but that also requires a two-way street.
No, the car absolutely hit him. What are you talking about?
And local officials. These guys will absolutely communicate with state and local officials. They'll tell people if they have to do an enforcement operation in a particular municipality, but part of that is they also want to ensure that if they're communicating about their whereabouts, that's not being used as a weapon against them. Sometimes they tell people where they're going, and then they find out that their agents' faces are on on Reddit or on some social media thread saying, here's this guy, we know he's going to be at this place at this exact time. So that communication...
Yeah, that shit's wild, man. It's wild how much doxing there is. It sucks that they're doxing these ICE agents because they are just trying to do their job. They're trying to enforce... They're trying to enforce immigration policies, and if there's illegal immigrants, they got to take them in. It's their job. It's probably a tough job, man. It's probably a very tough job. Not just probably. Not only that, you have to deal with white liberal Karens. That's the most disgusting part about the job, is having to deal with the white liberal Karen protesters. I wouldn't want to deal with that, dude. Screw that. But you guys, make sure you tap the like button if you can. If you love JD, by the way, and I mean it when I say this, if you guys love JD Vance like I do, please tap the like button, man. We love JD Vance on this channel, and I think that you guys will like this channel because of how much we love Vance and we love Trump. So please tap the like button. It does wonders for the algorithm. And also, JD Vance is the frickin' man, dude. We love JD Vance on this channel.
Communication has got to be a two-way street. These guys are going to communicate with business leaders, with local officials, with state officials, but we also need the local officials and state officials to do a good job of protecting people when they're in their communities. We're not asking, by the way, we don't want any police officer in this community, in this state, to help us.
Oh, and also, if you guys can, make sure you tap the like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes. We're trying to get to 100 likes in the next 10 minutes. So don't forget to tap the like button so we can get to the 100 like marker as quickly as possible. Thank you, guys. Let's keep watching our sexy boy, JD Vance. Let's go.
Let's do immigration enforcement. We've got that. But if a protester shows up and that protester turns violent against our immigration officers, we really, really need the cooperation of our local partners. We haven't gotten it yet, but I think if we do, we really can lower the temperature. Yeah.
Build a website you love.
I'm trying to hear JD Vance out because I really do love, I love what this man has to say.
Yeah, so I saw that story, and the story is like so much that I read in the mainstream media. It's missing a whole lot of context, and when you appreciate the context, it makes sense. No one is saying, I mean, look, there are exceptions. For example, a crazy exception, if somebody is fired at from inside a house, they don't need a warrant to go inside that person's house. There are very narrow exceptions to the warrant requirement where law enforcement officers don't need a warrant if, for example, they're an imminent threat of their lives. But what we've said and what ICE has proposed, what the Department of Homeland Security really has proposed in the Department of Justice, is that we can get administrative warrants to enforce administrative immigration law. Now, it's possible, I guess, that the courts will say no, and of course, if the courts say no, we would follow that law, but nobody is talking about doing immigration enforcement without a warrant. We're talking about different types of warrants that exist in our system. Typically what happens, not always, but
Oh, yeah, and by the way, like I said, we're trying to get to 100 likes as quickly as possible, so if you guys could tap the like button, that'll get us to 100 likes, and we're really trying to push ourselves out on the algorithm, so any little bit of things you could do, just tapping the like button goes a long way, and if you haven't subscribed already, for the love of God, please subscribe. I need you.
typically in the immigration system, those are handled by administrative law judges. So we're talking about getting warrants from those administrative law judges. And then, of course, with other cases, you get judges or you get warrants from a judge.
Hey, Turn 3, thank you for the high five, my brony brother. I'm going to high five you. Pew, 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 pew. Thank you so much, my brony brother. Thank you. Such a stud, dude.
Judge, that's very consistent with the practice of American law. I'm sure the courts will weigh in on that, but we're never going to enter somebody's house without some kind of a warrant, unless, of course, somebody's firing on an officer or they have to do something in order to protect themselves. Go ahead.
Do you believe that you can forcibly enter with
I don't know. I just think that there's a reason that ICE is in Minnesota, because there's a lot of illegal immigration issues that are happening in Minnesota. It's a sanctuary city. It's a sanctuary state. And when it's a sanctuary state the way it is, it's like, yikes. Here, we're gonna watch the rest of this here in a second. If you guys can, I'm gonna get some peaches. Tap the like button. If, like I said, if you guys want to help support the channel, just tap the like button. Tapping the like button goes so far. Even the simple act of tapping that like button will push us out to way more people, and we'll be able to have a good time tonight and be able to, do what we typically do and entertain you guys as much as possible. So I enjoy entertaining you guys. So thank you guys for tapping the like button. We're not done yet. I'm gonna get up from my chair. I'm gonna get some peaches, and we're gonna watch some JD Vance, and we're gonna feel good about our lives. Yeah, I love JD. JD is the man, the greatest of all time. Give me a few moments, though. Also, if you guys can, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. We're currently sitting pretty at 7,093 subscribers. We're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers before the end of the month. So just the simple act of subscribing goes a long way, too. So thank you guys for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And let's just give me a few moments. I will BRB. Hey, don't forget to tap the like button if you love JD Vance as much as I do.
Would that be a violation?
Well, our understanding is that you can enforce the immigration laws of the country under an administrative order if you have an administrative warrant. That's what we think. That's our understanding of the law. That's our best faith attempt to understand the law. Again, this is something courts will weigh in on. I won't speak to that. But yes, most immigration law in our country is not done through the criminal system with the judge. It's done through the administrative law system. We're going to continue that practice just as they did in the Biden administration or any other administration.
Was there anything that you heard or saw today that would cause you to counsel the president to invoke the Insurrection Act? And then also, did you meet or talk to the ICE agent who was involved in the neighborhood incident?
I did not talk to him today. I talked to some of his colleagues. Your question on the Insurrection Act is interesting. I've tried to understand this as well as I possibly could, and my understanding is what the Insurrection Act, what invoking the Insurrection Act would allow the federal government to do, is that it would allow the federal government to use the military for local law enforcement operations. Right now, we don't think that we need that. Now, the president could change.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the National Guard in Minnesota can be utilized to stop the rioters from vandalizing the way that they're vandalizing. We're tired of seeing the vandalism in Minnesota. These rioters, man, they're getting out of hand. They're just getting out of hand. And I think it's about time we just admit that rioters are not good. We need to stop. They need to stop vandalizing shit. We're done. We're done with the woke. We're done complying with the woke. We don't believe in the woke. You know what we believe in? Vance 2028, baby. Let's go. Because, dude, the woke people are pissing me off. I am 100% on board with ICE at this point. I'm 100% on board with JD Vance. Screw the woke Karens. There is more diversity in ICE than there is on the left.
Change his mind, of course, things could get worse. But right now, we think that federal law enforcement officers can do the job of federal law enforcement.
Also, you guys, tap the like button if you guys love JD Vance. If you guys love JD Vance, please tap that like button because he's our boy. He's our man, dude. We love our JD.
Now, what I do worry about, again, is if the chaos gets worse, if more and more ICE agents start getting assaulted, if other law enforcement officers start getting assaulted, that would be a real problem. But again, we have so much federal law enforcement resources here right now. We have so many people here that we do not want to have here. I do not want so many ICE officers in Minneapolis right now. I mean, good Lord, it's really, really freaking cold outside. But they're here not even to enforce immigration laws, but to protect the people from the rioters. That's an absurd state of affairs, and we wouldn't need it if we had a little bit more cooperation from the Minneapolis Police Department. Again, the Minneapolis Police Department, my understanding is that the actual beat cops on the ground, they would love to help out, but they're being told by somebody, I don't know if it's Mayor Frey, they're being told by somebody not to cooperate at all. What kind of a person tells their local police don't protect somebody if they're being assaulted by a rioter? It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Here's the problem with guys like Jacob Frey and Tim Walz. Jacob Frey and Tim Walz are pretending like they're innocent when in all reality, they are, I would probably say 90% of the problem here. I would say 90%, man. That's what I believe. Seriously, I think they're 90% of the problem, man.
And it's got to stop. Yes.
Because Tim Walz is the leader of the woke. The leaders of the woke are people like Tim Walz and Jacob Frey. Even I don't even know. I think the only people who are defending Tim Walz at this point are the insane woke Karens. That's it. The only people that are who are on Tim Walz's side are the insane woke white Karens, liberal Karens, and it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. It's pretty funny because there really is more diversity, if we're talking about racial diversity, that is, in ICE than there is in most of the groups that are ran by these Karens. So I'm fully on board with I love JD Vance. He's got my vote for 2028. So I'm voting for JD Vance in 2028, and by golly, I hope you guys like the stream as well. Tap that like button. We need it, man. We need it. We love JD. We love ICE.
Law enforcement accuse federal agents of racial profiling.
Up to 50,000.
Being caught up in these operations.
Well, I think your question assumes something that's not necessarily in evidence, which is that when there are American citizens who have been caught up in some of these enforcement operations, very often it is people who have assaulted a law enforcement officer. They're not being arrested because they violated the immigration laws. They're being arrested because they punched a federal law enforcement officer. That is a totally reasonable thing. Now, to the accusation of racial profiling, look, it's something that we take very seriously. We will take accusations of racial profiling back to Washington. We'll certainly look into them as they come up. But this is not a group that's going around and looking for people who violated the law based on skin color. They're looking for people who violated the actual law, the law of our immigration system in this country. And so long as we had more cooperation, I think they could do these things in a much more targeted way. They would actually know where some of the bad guys are. I mean, again, you hear things that are hard to believe, but I've confirmed that they are true. Sex offenders who we're trying to get off the streets, who the local officials won't tell us their last known address. So then the local officials say, oh my God, these guys are doing widespread targeted enforcement operations, when in reality, we would love to just go to one house. The local officials won't tell us which one house to go to.
Mr. Vice President.
Mr. Vice President, to that question, the local police chiefs have said their own...
Yeah, Jacob Frey and Tim Walz need to either resign or be impeached from their positions. Jacob Frey and Tim Walz need to resign from their respective positions because they are terrible, dude.
Off-duty officers, so police officers, are being targeted because they are a person of color and asked to show their papers. Is that a concern of the administration of the Department of Homeland Security if local law enforcement says their own officers are being targeted and they describe it as, quote, civil rights violations in our streets?
So I saw one story about this and one local police officer who said this. And look, certainly is it a concern? Absolutely. The first thing we have to figure out is whether it happened or not. And then if it happened, whether there is a good explanation or a bad explanation. And of course, if somebody violated the law, if somebody racially profiled, if somebody violated the rights of one of our fellow citizens, that is something we will take very seriously. What I also would say is that many of the most viral stories of the past...
Oh, also, you guys, just real quick, that's crazy. I don't know how true that is about the about ICE officers trying to ICE officers trying to deport members of the Minnesota Police Department. I don't know how true that is. And like I say, I feel like all the news media outlets in Minnesota are just making up stories at this point just to make ICE look bad, even though, honestly, I don't think ICE is doing anything wrong for the most part. Like, I really don't. I think the reason they're there is because there's been a lot of fraud in Minnesota, and a lot of it is caused by, well, you know who. You know who. I'm not going to say. We all know who's been causing majority of the fraud in Minnesota. And Tim Walz has enabled it. Tim Walz has been an enabler, man. One other thing I can say, we're almost to 100 likes. If you guys tap the like button, it'll help us to get to 100 likes. So we're really trying to get to 100 likes in the next 10 minutes. So if you guys could tap the like button, that would really help us out on the algorithm quite a bit. Just simply getting 15 more likes on this stream will actually push us out quite a bit on the algorithm. So whatever you guys could do, tap the like button. Tap it if you love JD Vance, man.
Past couple of weeks have turned out to be, at best, partially true. So we want to try people based on reality, based on the truth, based on context. We're not going to prejudge people just because of viral social media story that turned out to be half false.
Mr. Vice President.
President, a quick question. About the roundtable you just had, I presume that happened. Did you invite anybody with an opposing point of view to get an idea of why people are upset here? And just as a quick follow-up, have you reached out to Governor Walz at all in an attempt to turn down the tent?
So I haven't talked to Governor Walz on this particular trip. A number of members of our administration, I believe our chief of staff, spoke to the governor and has been in constant contact with his staff over the past week. We've been in my office in constant contact with people here on the ground in Minneapolis. There were certainly people at our roundtable with opposing views, and look, I don't even know, whether it's public, but yes, we met with people with opposing views here at the roundtable. I wanted to get a perspective from everybody, but also, of course, offer my opinion that with a little bit more cooperation, we could lower the chaos. We're going to keep on doing that. If Governor Walz wants to call me, we'll absolutely continue talking. I will say that my sense of this situation, having talked to these guys for a long time, is this is primarily a law enforcement issue. This is the Attorney General. This is the local mayor. This is all of the organs of local and state law enforcement. That's who we focus on, but we've certainly been in communication with the governor and his office as well.
Vice President.
Yeah.
So, local law enforcement obviously hasn't been really helping out with the agents who've been assaulted repeatedly. What's the plan if nothing changes there here locally and this operation has attracted thousands of agents? Are there any plans to go to any other cities from here?
Well, right now we're focused on Minneapolis because that's where we have the highest concentration of people who have violated our immigration laws, and that's also, frankly, where we see the most assault of our law enforcement officers. Our plan is very simple. If you assault a federal law enforcement officer, we're going to do everything that we can to put you in prison. It's very simple. And most of these protesters, as much as I may disagree with their politics, most of them have been peaceful, but a lot of them have not been peaceful. And if you go and storm a church, if you go and insult a federal law enforcement officer, we're going to try very hard. We're going to use every resource of the federal government to put you in prison. Respect people's rights. Respect people's rights to worship, respect people's rights to do their job without being assaulted.
Yeah.
If you follow that basic
Absolutely,
principle,
dude.
the Trump administration is going to do everything that we can to protect your rights. But if you go after somebody, if you assault somebody, if you make a 9-year-old girl cry because you walked into her church and harassed her, we're going to go after you with every single tool that we have.
Vice President.
Maggie, that's with NBC News, sir. Your administration has said repeatedly this is about safety, about making Americans feel safer. So what do you say to people here in Minnesota who say it's the overwhelming presence of ICE officers and federal officers and their tactics that are making them feel less safe?
Well, one thing I would say,
Hand off your taxes to an expert in your neighborhood. Now, you're
in 2025, the biggest one-year drop in murders in the history of the United States of America. Significant reductions in violent crime. The reason why we have less violent crime is really two reasons. Number one, because we're enforcing the immigration laws and getting very violent criminals out of our country. And number two, because we're enforcing our criminal laws and putting guys who assault and murder behind bars. This is part of a broad effort to make us safe. And the chaos that people are seeing, and I understand there is frustration of the chaos, I'd say that we're doing everything that we can to lower the temperature, and we would like federal and local, state and local officials to meet us halfway.
Perceiving it correctly. Are you saying that they're not seeing that it's the tactics or the presence of the officers that are...
Look, I'm sure that people are seeing a lot of things that would make any member of our national community feel very upset, but I also think that if you understand this in context, this is the inevitable consequence of a state and local government that have decided that they're not going to cooperate with immigration enforcement at all. In fact, they're going to aggressively not cooperate. So here's a basic illustration of this. If you are an ICE officer, and you have to arrest a person who's committed assault and is also an illegal alien, but the state and local officials won't help you identify that person, many of the things that people in Minneapolis are seeing that give them pause, that frustrate them, that worry them, that make them feel like things are too chaotic, many of these things are coming from the fact that there's no cooperation with state and local law enforcement. And I guess what I would tell people, again, many of whom are justifiably concerned.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, if local law enforcement would just try to work with ICE instead of trying to stifle ICE, I mean, so many things would go well. So many things would work out a lot better. And the problem is they're not working with ICE at all. It sucks, dude. It sucks, man. Give me a moment. I gotta get a pencil or a pen. Don't forget to tap the like button. If you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, if you guys think that JD Vance is a total hunk, make sure you tap the like button. For the love of God, tap the like button because we love JD Vance. He is so sexy. We love JD. JD has BDE, dude. He's got that big dick energy, man. Tap that like button if you love JD Vance. Yeah. I have LDE. I have little dick energy, okay? Leave me alone, bro. Get off my Johnson.
And worried about what they're seeing in their communities is, why are we not seeing it anywhere else? We're seeing this level of chaos only in Minneapolis. LA and Chicago, we had some problems there. Pretty much every jurisdiction where these guys are operating, you don't see the same level of chaos. You don't see the same level of violence. You don't see the problems that we're seeing in Minneapolis. Maybe.
Hey, thank you, Caleb. At least somebody appreciates my singing. Thank you, Caleb, my brony brother. I appreciate the compliment. You know me, man. I'm always trying to woo the crowd, to make the crowd feel very sexy. Hey, I love making you guys feel sexy, okay? I gotta. It's my job. It's my duty. Make sure you guys tap the like button, though. The more likes we get on the stream, the better. So please like the stream, and if you can, so please subscribe to the channel, because we're really trying to get to 8,000 subscribers. We're really close. We're at least on path. So let's keep rocking it, man.
The problem is unique to Minneapolis, and we believe that it is. And it's a lack of cooperation between state and local law enforcement and federal law enforcement. Sir.
CNN. ICE has been operating here for years with less pushback than we're seeing right now. And even the St. Paul police chief recently said, is there not a way to find common ground without scaring the hell out of people in the community? Those were his words. And I just wonder, with this Operation Metro Surge, is any part of it meant to send a form of political message to the leaders here in Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota? And I know you talked about you've been in touch with the governor's offices and the mayor's offices, but why have you not been able to speak to them directly?
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Well, look, I have spoken to some of the people in Minnesota directly. I spoke to some of them today. I've spoke to others in the past. And again, our staff has been in very direct contact with pretty much every official with any influence or any power in Minneapolis. But no, we're not trying to send a political message. We're trying to enforce the law. And unfortunately, what has happened is that as we've enforced the law, there's been this weird reaction, again, unique to this city. This is not a common thing across the United States of America. There's been a very unique, very Minneapolis-specific reaction to our enforcement of federal immigration laws. What I'm trying to do here today is understand why that is. What is it about Minneapolis that has become so chaotic? What are the specific types of cooperation that we need? Look, I don't need Tim Walz or Jacob Frey or anybody else to come out and say that they agree with JD Vance or Donald Trump on immigration. I just don't need that. What I do need them to do is empower their local officials to help our federal officials out in a way where this can be a little bit less chaotic and it can be a little bit more targeted. Like if we're trying to find a sex offender, tell us where the guy lives. Simple things like that, simple changes in how they're approaching immigration enforcement.
Yeah, the fact that the local police department's not even willing to give ICE the information they need to find like sex offenders, for example, that's crazy. And it's like, it is wild that Minnesota is actively allowing all this crap to happen, man. Hey, but you guys, make sure you guys tap the like button. Hey, if you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, tap that like button, man. Because I love JD. Hopefully you guys do too. But tap the like button if you love his BDE, that big D energy, man. Ooh. I love JD Vance, man. Vance 2028, baby. Give me a like. Tap that like. Oh, yeah. Tap that like. Yeah. Tap that like button, yo. Tap that like button, yo. Tap that like button, yo.
Would make this work a lot better. It would make Minneapolis' streets a lot safer. And it would make this whole thing a lot less traumatic for this community. I'll take one more question.
Mr. Vice President.
Go ahead.
You said that it's time to turn down the temperature. Does that include changes to both ICE and CBP tactics that we've seen employed on the streets, including less than lethal tactics, pepper spray, pepper balls? Beyond that, what is the federal government's role in turning down the temperature? And the Minnesota Department of Corrections says that its own officers have been cooperating with ICE all along, handing over criminals once they serve their sentences to ICE officials. Can you concede that there is some cooperation with the state?
Yeah, look, if I was going to list the 5 agencies locally and statewide that I'm most worried about, I wouldn't put the Department of Corrections on that list. I think that while there are certain things we'd like to see more from them, they've hardly been the worst offenders. You agree with that, guys? That's a fair assessment. But I think you talked about tactics and you talked about the response to things. Look, we don't want to employ tactics that we don't employ the kind of tactics that are only necessary when violence is committed against officers. That is these guys' directive, and that's what we're going to try to do. And again, the president said this a couple of days ago. Whenever you have a law enforcement operation, even if 99.99% of the guys do everything perfectly, you're going to have people that make mistakes. That is the nature of law enforcement. What I do think that we can do is, working with state and local officials, we can make the worst moments of chaos much less common. And all they've got to do is meet us halfway. These guys want to communicate.
Yeah, it is weird how many haters are in the Feline Gaming is saying, lol, it's funny how there's so many haters. Yeah, a lot of the haters just seem to keep pouring into the chat at a rapid pace, man. I'm a beautiful man, dude. I'm a beautiful brony bro. And I dance at the gay club, oh my God. I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong down at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the... Give me one moment. You're all my pink bronies. We got my boy Vacation Time, man. Vacation Time, I see that, man. Sometimes I like to do the same. Except for, yeah, no, I don't. I can't relate to you on that one.
Communicate with them. They want to talk to the local business leaders. Many of these guys, many of the people standing behind me are members of the Minneapolis community. Many of the officials that I met today who work in federal immigration enforcement, this is their home. They love this place. These are their neighbors. They want this to work a lot more smoothly.
Hey, Zinc Roofer, one can dream. You know, one can dream. Guys, can you guys just tap the like button if you love JD Vance? If you love JD Vance, I hope you press that like button so hard. I hope you like this stream because, dude, I love JD Vance, dude. I think he's the GOAT. I think he's one of the greatest vice presidents of all time. And if he does run for office, I think he'll be one of the greatest presidents ever. And I mean that, dude. I mean that with wholeheartedly. I think JD Vance would be an incredible president. At least, you know, overall. Would he be as good as Donald Trump? I actually don't know. But I do know this. JD's the man. I'm a huge fan of JD. And like I always say, I'd rather have Vance in my pants than walls in my balls. So if you love JD Vance as much as I do, and I hope you do, tap that like button. We need more likes. It really helps us expand on the algorithm as much as possible. So the simple act of tapping the like button. Also, we're trying to get to 100 likes. I repeat, we're trying to get to 100 likes in the next 5 minutes. So if we can get to that point, that'll make me sprung. I will get really, really sprung if that happens. If we can get to 100 likes, that'll get me going, dude. That'll get my juices rolling.
I think that we can get there. We just got to work at it a little bit, and we need some cooperation from state and local officials. The last thing that I'll say is I just hope they give it. This is a beautiful city. I've only been here a few times. I love it. Even in this weather, I love Minneapolis. We could do a lot better. We could do a lot more.
Oh, I don't, man. Screw Minneapolis, man. Screw it.
Or with more cooperation. The Trump administration, the directive that I got from the President of the United States is meet these guys halfway. Work with them so that we can make these immigration enforcement operations successful without endangering our ICE officers, and so that we can turn down the chaos a little bit, at least. I think a lot, actually. But for us to do that, we need some help from the state and local officials. We will keep on working with them, and so long as they're willing to work with us, they will always find a partner in public safety and law enforcement in the Trump administration. Thank you all.
JD. Woo, that was a pretty good speech, man. You know, the one thing I'll say about JD Vance is he's very well spoken. And he was addressing a lot of the questions, which is really cool. It's fun to watch him address questions because I feel like he answers with such a relaxed demeanor. And he's a very composed dude. I love everything about him, man. Like, I don't understand how anybody could, like, I guess I could understand how somebody could hate somebody, but I think a lot of people love JD Vance. Like, if they got the chance to get to meet him and talk to him one-on-one, the people who hate JD Vance who've never met him, I bet they would love him after they meet him. No, JD's the man, dude. No, man, I think JD Vance is the GOAT. You guys, make sure you guys tap the subscribe button. If you love JD Vance as much as I do, tap that subscribe button, man. The more subscribers we get, the better. But hey, if you love JD Vance, you're going to love this channel. So tap the subscribe button, okay? Let's go.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Play solo.
Okay, so we're going to watch Elon Musk next. We're going to watch Elon Musk at the World Economic Forum here in just a second, after this ad plays. So we got my boy, dude, Elon. I love Elon.
That was not a large applause. Start again. That's better. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna make this interesting.
How many quotes are you going to want that are going to be after this session?
I don't know. I mean, 5.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see everybody here. It's been an amazing week here in Davos. Hopefully everybody saw that we are having conversations here. Hopefully everybody agrees. There are some conversations that we may disagree. There's many conversations that we may have agreed, but through those conversations, and I think today's result with a peace agreement earlier today, the World Economic Forum is here to have those conversations, to have understandings, and also resolution. So,
hell yeah, dude. Larry Fink. Loving on Elon Musk. By the way, if you guys love Elon Musk as much as I do, make sure that you tap the like button because Elon's the man. I love Elon. He could be a little bit of a punk ass from time to time, but I love Elon Musk. He's the man.
It's an important component of who we and what we are, and I'm thrilled to have Elon Musk here. He came all the way from California to be here to see all of you. So thank you, Elon.
You're most welcome. I heard about the formation of the Peace Summit, and I was like, is that PIEC? A little piece of Greenland, a little piece of Venezuela.
we got one.
All we want is peace.
Okay, I'm going to, as I said, I'm a pretty proud CEO of BlackRock since we went public. compound.
Oh, that's right. I always forget that Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock. I always forget that. BlackRock, I'm not going to lie, BlackRock is a huge freaking conglomerate, man. That thing is ironclad. The one thing I will say I love about BlackRock is they hold so many assets. They hold a lot of the world's assets, and I love it. That's why if you're an investor in BlackRock, you're going to be a rich person, because BlackRock is honestly, you guys may not, honestly, BlackRock is no different than Vanguard. By the way, I will tell you this, if you love Vanguard, then in all reality, you should love BlackRock, because they do virtually the same thing. They have several exchange-traded funds. They have funds of all kinds. The difference between Vanguard and BlackRock are pretty much the names for the most part. Obviously, they have different types of funds here and there. But BlackRock is amazing, and I'm a huge fan of BlackRock. So, to those of you who don't like BlackRock, whatever, you can shove it. Just keep watching.
Return of BlackRock to our shareholders with 21%. Since Elon took Tesla public, his compounded return is 43%. This is just another advertisement for everybody, especially for Europeans. This is why more citizens should be investing with growth, investing with their countries. Imagine if a lot of pension funds invested with Elon when Tesla went public, and how much return would all the pension funds that invested side by side with Elon and the growth. So a spectacular return. There's very few companies. Well, I don't think there's any other company as large as Tesla today that has that compounded return. So
Tesla's a very huge company.
It's a good
Tesla's
measurement.
insane.
Well, we have an incredible team at Tesla, and that's the reason.
So I want to get into the dirt, the meaningful component about technology, the possibilities. I want to talk about AI and robotics, energy, space, and the progress ultimately coming down to engineering discipline, scale, execution. And few people, if not anyone, has the experience and the fortitude to confront these issues head on. Not just the ideas, but the execution across so many different technologies, Elon. And that's why I thought it was important for us to have this dialogue here in Davos. So you're presently building on AI, on robotics, on space, on energy, all at the same time. When you look across those efforts, what do they have in common from an engineering standpoint?
Well, they're all very difficult technology challenges, but the overall goal of my companies is to maximize the future of civilization, like basically maximize the probability that civilization has a great future, and to expand consciousness beyond Earth. So if you take SpaceX, for example, SpaceX is about advancing rocket technology to the point where we can extend life and consciousness beyond Earth, to the moon, to Mars, eventually to other star systems. And I think we should always view consciousness, life as we know it, as precarious and delicate, because to the best of our knowledge, we don't know of life anywhere else. You know, I'm often asked, are there aliens among us? And I'll say that I am one, but...
Or you're from the future.
They don't believe me.
Okay.
But I think if anyone would know if there are aliens among us, it would be me. And we have 9,000 satellites up there, and not once have we had to maneuver around an alien spaceship. So I'm like, I don't know. Bottom line is, I think we need to assume that life and consciousness is extremely rare, and it might only be us. And if that's the case,
that's an interesting point Elon's making right there. What if we really are the only sentient life in the universe? Now, I doubt that. Because here's the thing. We don't really truly know how rare life is because we can't really quantify it. We can't even make a test for it. We would have to travel to several different star systems just to figure out, within our own galaxy even, just to figure out if life exists on other planets. Not just the basic life. We're talking about life like us. Multicellular, maybe even bipedal, but life that has the ability to leave its own atmosphere. Can you I mean, this is actually kind of an amazing feat if you think about it. We're the only creatures, as far as we know, who have been able to send members of our own species, even though it's a very select few. We're the only mammal that's been able to do this. To be able to send members of our own species through the atmosphere and into outer space. I mean, really, at the end of the day, how wild is that? Kind of cool if you ask me. I think it's dope, man. I think it's dope. If you guys can, though, make sure you guys tap the like button. We're trying to get more likes. We're trying to get to 100 likes on the stream. So if you guys could tap the like button, it'll bring us closer to the 100 like threshold. So even the simple act of tapping the like button definitely goes a long ways in this instance. But yeah, no, we're really excited. I enjoy watching videos that have any sort of video that has Elon Musk in it. This is crazy. But yeah, tapping the like button really does help us out a lot. Even the simple act of subscribing to the channel helps us out a lot. So if you guys haven't subscribed already, please make sure you tap the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow in more ways than one. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has contributed to the show in more ways than one. So let's keep going.
Then we need to do everything possible to ensure that the light of consciousness is not extinguished, because we're effectively the way I view it is, the image in my mind is of a tiny candle in a vast darkness, a tiny candle of consciousness that could easily go out. And that's why it's important to make life multiplanetary, such that if there is a natural disaster or a man-made disaster on Earth, that consciousness continues. That's the purpose of SpaceX. Tesla is obviously about sustainable technology, and also at this point we've sort of added to our mission sustainable abundance. So with robotics and AI, this is really the path to abundance for all. If you say, people often talk about solving global poverty, or essentially how do we give everyone a very high standard of living. I think the only way to do this is AI and robotics, which doesn't mean that it is without its issues. I mean, we need to be very careful with AI. We need to be very careful with robotics. We don't want to find ourselves in a James Cameron movie, Terminator. He's got great movies, love his movies, but we don't want to be in Terminator, obviously. If you have ubiquitous AI that is essentially free or close to it, and ubiquitous robotics, then you will have an explosion in the global economy, an expansion in the global economy that is truly beyond all precedent.
Elon, can that expansion be broad?
Yes.
Or is it narrow? And how can that be created? How can it broaden the global economy?
Yeah,
Now, if he's talking about AI, look, I think AI, artificial intelligence, we're literally outsourcing repetitive tasks with AI. We are in a lot of ways, we're taking away jobs that don't need to be performed by human beings. And the main question I have is this: how much is AI going to displace the entire workforce? You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, how much will this displace? And that's a good question. I think it's a good question to ask, man. You guys don't forget to tap the like button. If you guys can like the stream, it does help the channel grow. So the simple act of tapping like allows us to push the show out to the rest of YouTube very effectively. So don't forget, tap like if you love the show, tap like if you love JD Vance, and also tap like if you love Elon Musk. Let's roll, baby. Woo! Drill, baby, drill.
I mean, a way to think of it is that if you have a large number of humanoid robots, the economic output is the average productivity per robot times the number of robots.
Right.
And actually, my prediction is in the benign scenario of the future that the robots will actually make so many robots and AI that they will actually saturate all human needs. Meaning you won't be able to even think of something to ask the robot for at a certain point. Like there will be such an abundance of goods and services because my prediction is that there'll be more robots than people. So,
but how do you then have human purpose in that?
So this is the major question, and I am very curious to see how Elon Musk responds to this. But what about human purpose is the question, and my response to this is, I think, and I don't know how, but I have some intuition on this. I do believe that human beings can still find purpose in a world where a lot of things are automated, right? Where artificial intelligence dominates. We're getting to a very, very interesting you lack abstract thinking. What the hell? Zinc Roofer saying I lack abstract thinking. Are you kidding me? So one of the things for me is I think AI is perfect. I think AI is fine. AI is constantly evolving, and it's even more wild to think that AI is even programming itself. AI is even expanding its own programming and its ability to analyze information on a large scale. I love it, man. But yeah, no, as far as human purpose goes, does artificial intelligence take away from human purpose? I will say that AI does at least help eliminate repetitive, redundant work and make it to where human beings can focus on other things. I don't necessarily think that an AI-driven world is going to be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. There may be things that we as human beings can still do, even while AI is taking majority of the work. And sometimes I think human purpose, and if all of our purpose is in the work that we do at a job, a soulless, a heart-sucking job, a soulless job that's repetitive, then, maybe rethink it. Because I think you can find purpose in an AI-driven world. In a lot of ways, I work with AI every day. I'm constantly using ChatGPT to help improve this YouTube channel. I'm finding ways to improve where this channel is going to go. So you can absolutely have purpose in this world. And you know what? Sometimes maybe having purpose is a little overrated. I love having a purpose, though. I think human beings, to some degree, need a purpose. My purpose is to teach people finance, people who don't know shit about investing, basically. And I want to teach people how to save their assets and not their cash. That's really my end goal with this channel, is to help people understand the basics of long-term diversified investing. I also kind of enjoy talking about politics. I'm not the biggest fan of politics, though. I think politics is kind of downstream from stupidity, and it's really just theater at the end of the day.
Scenario.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect, but it is a necessary. Like, you can't have both. You can't have work that has to be done and amazing abundance for all. Because if it's work that has to be done, then you and only some people can do it, then you can't have abundance.
Then
for
it's
all.
narrow.
Yes, narrow.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but if you have billions of humanoid robots, and I think there will be, I think everyone on Earth is going to have one and going to want one.
I mean, this is going to sound a lot like iRobot in a lot of ways, because isn't it true that in the iRobot film, everybody has their own robot servant, basically their own robot slave. This is where we're getting into some ethical territory. At what point does the robot become conscious? That's the question. Right? At what point does the emergent property of consciousness come about? Would it even be possible for these robots that have artificial intelligence? Would it even be possible for them to feel or have empathy or anything else? And I don't know if it's a good idea to have a robot made. I really think it's a bad idea to have a robot made. I mean, sure, it's convenient because if you need to do laundry, but you're really busy, yeah, sure, have the robot do the laundry for you. But in a lot of ways, it feels like slavery. Because what if these robots somehow gain some form of desire for freedom, right? Maybe they may not have the ability to feel, but they have the ability to perceive and understand the concept of freedom. And if somehow, and I don't know how they would, but if they're somehow able to gain the ability to have desires, and freedom ends up being one of their desires, they're not going to want to be slaves. They're not getting the robots are not going to want to do menial tasks on behalf of humans. And that's something I think that needs to be a little discussed, a little thought about a little bit. That's my opinion on it, at least. Let's keep going, though. I want to see what my boy Elon has to say.
Because who wouldn't want a robot to, assuming it's very safe.
Assuming it's safe. I still have my reservations, man. Elon, brother, I still have my reservations. As cool as it would be to have a robot around the house completing physical tasks, you would have to make sure that robot is deliberately not strong and has the ability to only do the strength required for its menial tasks. Because let's say artificial intelligence decides to run amok and decides to start killing people, you want to make sure that it has limited mobility, but still has the ability to move, if that makes sense. Thank you, my brony brothers. Hell yeah. Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on crapping down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. Pink Brony Club.
Watch over your kids, take care of your pet. if you have elderly parents, a lot of friends of mine said they have elderly parents. It's very difficult to take.
But if you guys can, make sure you tap the like button. We're almost to 100 likes. So we're currently sitting pretty at 92 likes. But if you can, if you're watching right now and you haven't tapped the like button, it really does go a long way. So don't forget to tap the like button. And also, if you can, subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. But subscribe to the channel, tap the like button. We're just doing everything we can to push this show out on the YouTube algorithm and really encourage people to be a part of the show. We have such a good time I have such a good time doing the show, and I really enjoy interacting with everybody in the chat. So you guys would be doing us a real service by liking the stream and subscribing to the stream. It really does help in more ways than you guys could ever imagine. Let's keep going.
Take care of them.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, and there just aren't enough people to take care of there aren't enough young people to take care of the old people.
Right.
So if you had a robot that could take care of and protect an elderly parent, I think that would be great. That would be an amazing.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's not a bad idea to have a robot caring for elderly people to some degree. There is a little bit of there's something that is kind of scary about that, though. What if the robot chooses to kill the elderly patient that is taken care of? That's the scary part about that. It's one thing to consider is what if the robot goes cray-cray and it decides to somehow kill the patient it's looking after, you know? That's the way I think.
Amazing thing to have. I think we will have those things. So, I mean, overall, I'm very optimistic about the future. I think we're headed for a future of amazing abundance, which is very cool.
If you guys, by the way, if you guys love Elon Musk as much as I do, don't forget to tap the like button, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. It really helps the channel grow. So please subscribe, please like. It'll make me feel good.
And definitely, we are in the most interesting time in history. I think there's a more interesting time in history. So.
Can we?
I think we're in the most abundant time in history. Absolutely. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are super pessimistic about where we're at as a society, but at the same time, man, there's so many advancements that are happening. Advancements in artificial intelligence. We may be able to use artificial intelligence as an actual think tank. Could you imagine having multiple AI models working together, trying to solve problems, and then while trying to solve those problems, maybe, like curing cancer, coming up with a molecule that would help, I don't know, the world in some way, a new revolutionary drug? Because it is possible that artificial intelligence can analyze way more data than a human can, and maybe even find a pattern that we may have missed. So,
can you and I reverse aging in this new history, or are we going to see it?
I haven't put much time into the aging stuff. I do think it is a very solvable problem. Like you can, I think when we figure out what causes aging, I think we'll find it's incredibly obvious. It's not a subtle thing. The reason I say it's not a subtle thing is because all the cells in your body, with some pretty much age at the same rate. I've never seen someone with an old left arm and a young right arm ever in my life. So why is that? That means that there must be a clock, a synchronizing clock,
right,
that is synchronizing across 35 trillion cells in your body. There is some benefit to death, by the way. It's like there's a reason why we don't actually have a longer lifespan, because if people do live forever for a very long time, I think there's some risk of an ossification of society, of things just getting kind of locked in place. And it just may become.
I mean, Elon's making some very interesting points right here, and he's touching on a deep subject, man. He's touching on a truly deep subject.
Stultifying, just not lack vibrancy. But that said, do I think we'll figure out ways to extend life and maybe even reverse aging? I think that's highly likely.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
In the future that you talk about, the AI models, autonomous machines, rockets, depends on massive increases in compute, massive increases in energy, expensive energy, manufacturing scale. What are the bottlenecks to get there? And then, once again, with all that expenditures, again, how can we make sure that it's broad and not narrow?
I just think the natural thing is it's going to be very broad because AI companies will seek as many customers as they possibly can, and the cost of AI is already very low, and it's plummeting every year. I mean, the cost of AI is almost meaningfully changing on a month-to-month basis.
There's open models now everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, there's open models, and the open models only lag. They're maybe a year behind.
Right.
The private.
It is really cool that AI is becoming more open source. Like there is actual there's a lot of information on how to create your own large language model and make it expand upon itself. I think that's really cool. I'm still a very huge fan of ChatGPT. I love using it. It's one of my favorite products. And look, AI is not going anywhere. You either use it or lose it. And the way I see it is, if people want to reject AI, totally fine, totally get it. As much as I love Elon Musk, I really don't feel like reacting to too much Musk material right now. And I really do, man. So it kind of goes to the theory, right? Is artificial intelligence worth it? Is artificial intelligence going to make humanity go crazy? Is it going to make humanity too lazy? And are humans really truly ready to be replaced by AI on a massive scale? I don't know. And it's a real question to ask. It's a real question to ask. If you guys can, though, make sure you tap the like button. We're trying to get to 100. We're trying to get to 100 likes, if possible. Once again, if you guys tap the like button, it'll help us grow. We're trying to get to 100 likes in under 10 minutes, and we're only at I think we're only at 92 likes. So if we only have 8 more people tap the like button, we'll get to the 100 like counter. And I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody subscribing to the channel. I appreciate everybody tapping the like button. You know, like I say, the more likes we get, the better. The more subscribers we get, the better. It really does help the channel grow. I will say this, Feline Gaming. Feline Gaming is saying AI is going to make me rich. You know, to some degree, AI, and this is not financial advice by any means, but AI is surprisingly really good at picking stocks. I'm surprised. I guess it doesn't surprise me because if you use the deep research functionality with ChatGPT, you can, and I'm not even kidding, you can I'm losing my train of thought tonight, you guys. I'm a little more tired than I expected. But what I'm trying to say with ChatGPT, you have the ability to allow it to pick penny stocks, right? So the best part about it is I was using ChatGPT to do research on and have it construct a top 100 list of penny stocks. And the top 100 list of penny stocks it gave me weren't necessarily a bad list. In fact, if anything, they were pretty decent companies fundamentally. But a lot of them, there were a lot of factors that made the AI pick the 100 penny stocks it picked for me to add in my portfolio. I'm not going to let you know what those 100 companies are because I think that would be seen as endorsing them, and I don't want to do that. But I will say this, for the top 100 penny stocks that ChatGPT provided me, it was pretty impressive. I was actually very impressed by it. So GPT being able to do that deep research and find those companies was out of this world and pretty dope. So yeah, like I said, if you have a paid subscription to ChatGPT and you use the deep, and let's say you use the deep research functionality, you'll be able to have it compile a list of penny stocks that you can add to your portfolio. Not financial advice, for educational and entertainment purposes only. That's all I got to say there. But I'm excited. I'm legitimately excited on that one. But yeah, it's just the way I see it. But yeah, you guys, make sure you guys tap the like button. The more likes we get on the stream, the better. It does help the channel grow. And we're trying to get to 100 likes before the end of the stream. So all you have to do is tap the like button. I may even sing Pink Brony Club. I'm going to keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. Pink Brony Club. I'm up. And my balls are on the floor. Everybody's looking at me, calling me a whore. And I heard that there's a messed up place where everybody wants to sit upon my fucking face. I'm having homo dreams of creaming in Tennessee. Oh, Santa Monica, you've been so gay to me. It won't make my mama proud. It's gonna cause a scene. She sees her brony boy, and I know she's gonna scream, God, what have you done? You're a pink brony bro, and you dance at the gay club. Oh my God, I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong down at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on crapping down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on fapping at the Pink Brony Club. Pink Brony Club. good shit, you guys. You're a pink brony bro. Yeah, I will say this, though. I can't believe we got to 92 likes, though. I really appreciate it. Now, if you guys love JD Vance as much as I do, make sure you tap the like button. If you love Elon Musk, tap the like button. If you love Donald Trump, tap the like button, too. The more likes we get, the better. It really does help the channel grow in more ways than one. It helps my dong feel bigger than it is. I have a pretty small dong, and yeah, it kind of sucks. I don't like having a small wiener. It's a lame feeling. So hopefully you guys can sympathize with a man who has a small dangus. Show some empathy, and please subscribe to my channel, because when you have a small dong, the only thing that you can use to make it feel bigger is your subscriber count on YouTube. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. If you love JD Vance, man, subscribe to the channel. If you love JD Vance, tap that like button. Tap it. Make me feel good, just like I knew I would. So yeah. Do I have a small dangus? Sure. Are you guys judging me for having a small dangus? Yes, you are. And that's not cool. There's nothing wrong with having a small wang. Okay? We're all pink brony bros here, okay? Mr. Bulbino says, you mad F bronies if you come after... Sorry, Mr. Bulbino, I've pretty much ignored the chat primarily. Mr. Bulbino is saying, your singing voice isn't bad, though, I'm being real. Yeah, I think I sing all right, for sure. No, I appreciate it, though, thank you. AI can replace certain people. You know, depending on the position of the job. I think there's always going to be some sort of there's always going to be some sort of job that is going to require some sort of robot, you know, and I think that's important to recognize. I need a skibbity toilet. 'Cause I'm a pink brony bro, and I dance at the gay club, oh my god. And I'm just having fun on the stage in my hooves. Hey, I'm not going after anybody. Mr. Bulbino, I'm not going after you, brony. All right, you guys, so we're going to end the stream here in just a second, but if you guys want the stream to keep going, either send me a gift If you send a gift or a super chat, I'll keep the stream going. If you send me a gift or a super chat, I'll keep the stream going. How does that sound? But if I don't get a gift, then I'm going to stop the stream. So we're going to give you guys 10 seconds. We got 10 seconds for you to provide us with some sort of gift or super chat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we didn't get a super chat or a gift. That's okay, though. We got a lot of subscribers tonight, man. Way more subscribers than I anticipated, for sure. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show, as always. You know, we've been getting a lot of viewers, and to everybody who participates in the show, I mean, you guys make this show go round. You make it spin around. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're going to keep the show going. I'm Sinful Jr. just sent some jewels. Okay, we're going to keep the show going for a little while longer. Let's keep it rolling. Yeah, so we're going to keep the show going for maybe another minute. Thank you for the gift. I was about ready to shut down the stream until I got the 100 for 2 jewels. If you guys want to keep the stream going, though, send me a gift. Super chats, gifts. You know, gifts are typically the easiest and most affordable for people to send. So if you guys want to send little gifts here and there, we appreciate it. It does help the channel in a lot of ways. So whatever you guys feel like sending. So we'll keep the stream going for another couple minutes, since the gift was kind of... Now, if you send us bigger gifts, obviously, then we're gonna keep the stream going a little while longer. So since you were nice enough to break the ice on that one, I'm Sinful Jr., we're just going to... So we got one more minute. Well, actually, how about this? We got... In 20 seconds, we're going to end the stream. Now, if you provide a gift or a super chat, we'll keep the stream going. We'll add to the clock, okay? So for every gift or super chat, we'll add 10 seconds to the clock. Got it? No, it's okay, brother. I'm Sinful Jr. I appreciate it, man. Whoever else wants to contribute, though. So we're going to have a 20-second countdown. For every gift that we receive, we're going to add 10 seconds to the clock. Got it? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. I don't see any additional gifts or super chats, so what we're going to do is we're going to end the stream here in just a second. We're going to give just a little bit of a grace period. We're going to give you guys maybe a couple more seconds, but yeah, we're going to end the stream if we don't see a gift. So anybody who wants to keep the stream going, if you guys want to keep the stream alive for a little while longer, feel free to send a gift. We'll keep pushing more time. For every gift that we receive, we're going to add 10 more seconds to the clock. All right? So if we get a gift now, bam. Hey, thank you for the like, man. I appreciate the like. Thank you, St. Timothy. I appreciate the like. And hopefully, St. Timothy, hopefully you subscribed as well. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button, everybody. We need more subscribers desperately. We're trying to expand our base, our show base. So the more we could do. Okay, Mr. Bulbino was saying, okay, I could say that. All right. Here we go. EA Sports. It's in the game. Let me try that again. EA Sports. It's in the game. Let me try that one more time. EA Sport. Hold on. EA Sports. It's in the game. Did I do a pretty good job on that? I'm trying to remember how it goes. Let me try to think about it real quick. EA Sports. It's in the game. Hold on. I want to try EA Sports real quick one more time. So we'll do Winamp here in just a second. EA Sports. It's in the game. Well, let me try one more time. EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game. I sound a little too intense. Hold on. Hold on. I got to listen to Winamp one more time. Winamp. It bites the llama's ass. I'm going to play it real quick. I'm going to look up Winamp. It bites. It whips the llama's ass. Let me see here. I'm going to listen to the Winamp. I'm going to listen to it real quick.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
I gotta listen to that again. Hold on.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass. Hold on. Let me try it again.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass. I can kind of do it. It really whips the llama's ass. In a world where too many people are trying to goon and do 676767. Dude, honestly, Winamp is still the GOAT. To anybody, and by the way, thank you, Nathan, for that suggestion, because that's an incredible suggestion. I love Winamp. Can I just tell you guys something? Thank you, Nathan, for suggesting Winamp, and also thank you, Mr. Bulbino, for suggesting EA Sports is in the game. Let me look it up. Hold on. I'm going to look up EA Sports is in the game just to see how close I was. It's in the game. Let me see. Because I got to listen to it. Come on.
EA Sports. It's in the
I'm listening to it one more time here.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports. It's in the game. Hold on.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports. Hold on. EA Sports. It's in the game. Yeah, I feel like I could kind of do that voice, and I can kind of do the Winamp voice. It whips the llama's ass. Winamp. It whips the llama's ass. Well, let me try EA Sports one more time. Let me try
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Hold on. Damn it. let me see if I can hear myself speaking. EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game. Oh, you know what? Did 989 Studios have one? Let's look up 989 Studios real quick. Do you guys remember 989 Studios by any means? EA Sports. EA Sports. EA Sports. It's in the game. Yeah. I want to... Oh, shit.
989 Studios.
989 Studios. Let me try that one more time. I'm going to replay that.
989 Studios.
989 Studios. 989 Studios. That's I got to listen to that again. 989 Studios. Boom. 989 Studios. But do you guys remember 989 Studios or 989 Sports? Oh, here's 989 Sports as well.
989 Studios.
Oh no, that's 989 Studios as well. Okay, never mind. Dude, I got to admit, 989 Studios was one of the best in my opinion, they were actually a pretty great development company of video games. So the tragedy of 989 Studios, how Sony killed a juggernaut 3 times. So 989 Studios, I think, is one of the most forgotten. I'm Sinful Jr. says 6-7 Studios. Oh God, no. 989 Studios was a hell of a game development company back in the day. I think they did wonders for a lot of different franchises. But yeah, I'm a very huge 989 Studios fan, though. 989 Sports, just the 989 brand. I don't even know what happened. I, for the life of me, don't know what happened to 989 Studios, if we're going to be honest. But, yeah, I miss 989 Studios, though. They were incredible. Arby's, we have the meats. So you want me to do the Arby's? Okay, so I'm going to do Arby's real quick. Arby's, we have the meats. Arby's, we have the meats. We have the meats. I can't remember how it works. Anyway, okay, you guys. I feel like I'm living in voice acting hell right now. Here's the thing. I think I would be an okay voice actor, but I don't think I would have to be typecast for a specific style of vocals. I would have to be like, I think I would have to be like kind of, I don't know if you guys, okay, by the way, just as a quick thing, if I was to be an anime voice actor, how would you guys typecast me based on my actual, based on the way I actually sound? If I were to be an anime, like you guys, I don't know if anybody here watches anime, but if I was to be an anime voice actor, what sort of character, what kind of character would you typecast me as? Would I be kind of like a slight reoccurring character that's kind of an authoritative figure? Would I have to do the voice of a child, for example? Would I have to do the voice of maybe an adult character? Like, what do you guys think? If you guys were to typecast me as a voice actor for an anime, what kind of anime character do you guys think I'd have to do? Because, I mean, I may have main character energy for certain ones. So, for example, I can kind of do Kentaro Ue's voice a little bit. I'm Kentaro Ue. Anime Tim Wells. You know what? How about this? I want to see if I can successfully do Golden Boy, Kentaro. I'm just going to play some of his sound bites. Kentaro. I'll just put Kentaro. Golden Boy Kentaro. Oh, wow. They got all the episodes on. This is crazy. They have every single episode on YouTube. Somebody took the time to upload every single Golden Boy episode, it looks like. That's fucking sick. Hell yeah. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Watch this. What is this?
What is this? Hold on.
Excuse me, isn't this basic?
Excuse me, isn't this okay, I don't think I could do Kentaro Ue, but like I could do like the my queen kind of. I kind of can't do that as well. But like you'd have to be like, oh, I see. Kentaro, you know, the guy who voice acts for Kentaro is an amazing voice actor. I think it's my boy. It's not this. I don't know who he actually is. All I know is I love the way he sounds. Like Golden Boy, like the one thing I love about Golden Boy, at least the English dubbed version, I don't think I could watch the Japanese version with the English subtitles. Like Golden Boy is one of those animes where the voice acting for the English version of it is so fucking good that you kind of can't help but love the anime for what it really is. Like, for what it's about. I feel like the voice actor also perfectly portrays a young man a very perverted young man, but he has a good heart. That's the one thing about Kentaro Oe, he's a pervert, but he's got a good heart. And I love the scene. One of my favorite scenes is where he's like messing around with the boss's toilet in the first episode, and it's still the funniest thing I've ever seen to this day. It's so disgusting, but he's like spraying himself with a toilet, like, "Oh, my queen, yeah, you're so dirty, you're so naughty, oh, you're so naughty, my queen." And then all of a sudden she comes in, and then she like lectures him or whatever, and then spits on him, and then he, of course, obviously, as she's spitting, puts out his tongue, is like, and the spit lands in his mouth. It's like, dude, come on, man. Oh, man. Nate Dogg is saying one of the few that has to be watched in English, without a doubt. Seriously, if you guys want to, like, if you guys, to everybody out there, not named Nathan, because Nathan introduced me to Golden Boy, and it was one of the best anime experiences I ever had. It's one of those examples of sometimes the best animes only last like 6 episodes. It's one of those that you're left feeling like you want more. When I watched Golden Boy, when it got to like episode 6 and that was the end, my first thought was, I kind of want more of this. I feel so empty, you know. But it really is. Actually, here we go. Best of Oe Kentaro Oe. And by the way, we're not. Well, I guess we could technically show. Yeah, you know what? Let me put it up on the screen real quick. Let's react before I head to bed. Before I go to bed, let's react to a little bit of the best moments of Kentaro Oe. So for any of you guys who have never seen Golden Boy, I highly recommend that you go on YouTube right now, look up Golden Boy, because it looks like somebody actually uploaded all 6 of the episodes in one single video. So if you just look up Golden Boy Kentaro, and it's spelled Kentaro. So Golden Boy Kentaro. And when you search for that, you're gonna see an upload that's all 6 of the episodes. And I don't know if it's the English dub, but you guys, I'm serious. Make sure that you listen to the English dub. The English voice acting in this is top notch. We're gonna see it here in just a second. We're gonna react to Kentaro Oe's best moments.
Huh? Hey, what's this? A black bra! Life is a mystery. I love the research.
Greatest swimmer of all time, by the way. Oh, God, I love Kentaro. No, I'm telling you guys, I'm serious. I am serious when I say this. Give Golden Boy a chance. All I ask is this, to everybody watching right now, or at least to anybody who has never seen this. Watch the first episode of... Seriously, watch the first episode of this series. It's only 6 episodes total, but watch the first episode. If you don't like the first episode, don't watch the rest. Because the first episode might be honestly one of the most amazing introductions to any anime I've ever seen. Seriously. So I'm Sinful Junior says, what's it on? So if you just type in, I'm not kidding when I say this, just type in on YouTube, by the way, type in Golden Boy, 2 separate words, Golden Boy Kentaro. Kentaro is all one word. Just type in Kentaro, and you're going to be able to find an upload where somebody uploaded all 6 of the episodes to YouTube. So you should be able to watch it straight up on YouTube. And if not, I'm pretty sure you can look it up on Google and you'll find some sort of rando website that'll have it.
So, how do you like my swimming?
Perfect. Oh my God! He's not wearing a bra! Behold, the human Cuisinarts! Oh yes!
By the way, this is the scene I was talking about. This right here is the epitome of the greatest scene that you're ever going to see in an anime. This right here. I don't think you guys are prepared for what awaits you.
Queen! Oh yeah! At last, I shall demonstrate my
Damn it, they didn't show the full scene.
computer skills. Since I didn't have a computer, I had to teach myself using a keyboard made of paper.
How'd she move so fast? It was like she...
Oh shit!
Feels so good.
It looks good too. Oh, I love my job.
That's my idea of how the film will come out.
Okay, director, I love it! But you'd better make this film gripping! I want to grab the audience by the balls!
I'll grab them and squeeze. They won't be able to sit down for a year.
Excuse me, can I have your autograph?
Yes. Okay, there we go. Finally. Okay, that was good. Okay, they actually showed the scene. The last part of the scene. Okay,
I
good.
may be dim, but it's always dark before the glorious sunrise. Oh, well,
You know what? Actually, hold on. Let's just watch that one more time. Let's get it gets me every time.
I may be dim, but it's always dark before the glorious sunrise. Oh, well, I mean, it would be a real pity if you were to lose our match 1 month from now and become a total loser in the process. Wouldn't it, ma'am?
You're quite cocky.
Oh, yeah! I'm not quite feeling myself today. Those were my notes. Those notes were more valuable than my life.
God, by the way, his notes, we're going to pause. When we get to a certain point, we're going to pause when he's showing the notes, just so we can get a good idea of what goes on in the beautiful mind, the brilliant mind of Kentaro Oe.
Money can't replace that kind of knowledge. Those notes were priceless.
Oh my God. The quality's kind of bad, but yeah, it's like there's obviously a drawing of a nude lady and some other random shit.
Oh shit!
Amazing. Oh my God.
I hear the sound of a woman screaming. What's going on, ma'am?
Who unplugged my file server?
Yes!
Oh, thank you so much for turning it off for me.
Me! It was I!
Bang. Oh man. God, that show is just one of a kind, man. It's one of one. It is one of one. And honestly, I don't know how we got to watching Golden Boy. All I know is somehow God, it's such a good show. It really is one of the best animes ever. Nate Dogg, absolutely. It's one of the best shows. And I got to thank Nathan. I don't know if I ever would have been able to watch that show. I don't know if I would have been able to discover that anime, I should say, without the glory of Nathan pointing me in the direction of that show. Such a good show. Such a good anime, man. Like, you know, people talk about Fooly Cooly and stuff like that, but Golden Boy, it checks all the boxes. It really checks all the boxes of just being a funny, great. It's lighthearted. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It checks off all the boxes. And my God, Kentaro Away, by the way, he's all of us. At the end of the day, there's a little Kentaro Away in all of us, is what I'm trying to get at. And that's the truth. I'm Kentaro Away. Those notes were priceless. Oh, shit. I just... my favorite part of that scene when he's holding the notes is his actual face. Realizing what he is holding up in his hand and being like, oh, shit, she definitely knows I'm a fucking perv, dude. So good. So fucking good, man. I'm Sinful Jr. says here is reincarnation. Hey, man, I'm Sinful Jr., man. Definitely watch all 6 of the episodes. The series itself is not even that long. I think the grand total runtime of like all 6 episodes grand total, I think, actually it'll show me here in just a second. One moment. What is the runtime? Golden Boy, let's see. Okay, here we go. So it's saying on this particular upload that the total runtime for all 6 episodes combined is like 2 hours and 23 minutes. So if you're looking for a good anime from start to finish, it's not super long. It's really enjoyable, man. It's one of those you don't have to take that much time out of your day. I mean, 2 hours is a chunk, absolutely, but it's one of those that, without a doubt, dude, it's got a special place in my heart, and it's fantastic, dude. Nate Dogg says I have the playlist on YouTube if you want the link. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, feel free to send me the link on like Facebook Messenger or something. That'd be tight. Absolutely, that'd be sick. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm Sinful Jr. Definitely give it a watch, man. It's one of those animes that 100% you'll love it, you know, share it with a friend. Especially if you and your friends love anime, man. Golden Boy, if you've never heard of Golden Boy, man, share Golden Boy. It's the best. It really is. Okay, you guys. I realize that I am a little bit tired. I need to take a shower, and I am going to I'm going to lay down in bed, and I'm going to read a book. I'm going to read a book and probably fall asleep with a book in my hand somehow. But, yeah. Anyway, you guys are rock stars. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah, again, I got to thank Nathan for showing me, back in the day, showing me the greatest anime of all time. I mean, it's up there, dude. I mean, Golden Boy deserves legendary status, without a doubt. 100% legendary. It's like, if you know how like they do the S tier, A tier, B tier. I would say, actually, you know what? I'm going to give you guys my anime rankings right now. I think Golden Boy belongs in the S tier. I think Dragon Ball Z obviously deserves S tier. I'm pretty biased about Bleach. However, I'm not going to give Bleach the S tier. I'm going to give Bleach the A tier. I know that's tough. Even though Bleach, I feel, is a very elite anime, I feel like there were some plot holes. I shouldn't say some, like, there were some holes in the show's storyline that were very glaring, that actually kind of pissed me off a little bit. But overall, Bleach is a very complete anime, so I would say I would put Bleach in the A tier. I think Naruto probably... So I debate Naruto a little bit on whether it's S tier anime or if it's A tier anime. So, and I feel like I'm caught in between on that one. There's part of me that wants to really put it into S tier, but a part of me that thinks maybe it should be an A tier. However, Naruto really does have a very good storyline, and I can't ignore that. It's very much an elite level storyline for an anime. Well written, well drawn. The characters are lovable. Yeah, I definitely would put Naruto in S tier, and it really does pain me to do that, but I feel like Naruto is a actual more complete anime than Bleach. Even though, by the way, I love Bleach. I think it is one of the best animes ever. I think it's up there. Part of me wants to put it in S tier, but I would be lying in the sense that I do believe it also kind of had a weird story arc towards the end. I felt very confused. So it's still a fantabulous anime, but I got to put it in A tier. Nate Dogg is saying, God, he's going to put Bleach higher than it deserves. I can't live in a world without Ichigo. So I'm going to put, obviously I'm biased. I'm sure a lot of you guys would probably put Bleach in the C tier. Naruto definitely. I think Naruto belongs in the S tier. It belongs in S tier. It is. I think Naruto is an elite anime. And by the way, I'm not even trolling with this list. By the way, I'm actually being dead serious. It pains me to put Naruto ahead of Bleach, but I feel like Naruto is a more complete anime. And I hate to say it, a little bit better written, but only by a little bit. Just a little bit, because I feel like Bleach really teeters on the S tier level. It teeters, but it's not quite there. It's there almost, right there, but not there. I'm trying to think of some animes that I really hated. That's the thing. It's really tough to find animes I didn't like. This is going to be a little controversial, so I'm sorry to all the Inuyasha fangirls, but I got to put Inuyasha. In C tier. I felt like, as much as I liked Inuyasha and I felt like it was a very interesting anime, and maybe I think it's an anime that's geared towards women more than men. And maybe that's the problem. So I kind of have to put Inuyasha in C tier. It was an enjoyable anime, but it's one of those. Here's the thing. A lot of my ranking has to do with, would I want to watch it again? Would I want to watch a few episodes again? And with Bleach, of course I'd want to watch a few episodes again. Bleach had incredible moments. Naruto, absolutely. Incredible moments. Incredible show. Inuyasha was my first alarm clock. Wait, what? Wait, did you have an... Nathan, did you have an Inuyasha alarm clock? That's awesome. Now, by the way, I just want to let everybody know, I actually liked Inuyasha. I still have a soft spot for it. But the problem is, it's one of those animes that I don't think I'd necessarily want to revisit. They should have played it in the morning instead of midnight. That's great. But no, I think it was a decent anime. I just don't think it's I just never... I mean, the drawings are fantastic. I really wasn't the biggest fan of the story, I guess. Some animes, the story just doesn't really do it for me, and Inuyasha's storyline was kind of... Another S-tier anime, actually one S-tier anime I gotta say is Full Metal Alchemist. That anime might be one of the craziest animes I've ever watched, and when I say crazy, I mean crazy good, but there was some whacked out moments in Full Metal Alchemist that's just dude, and it's one of the, I will say, out of all the animes, Full Metal Alchemist probably made me cry the most. Like, most animes don't make me cry that much, but Full Metal Alchemist, man, that one can be a real tearjerker too. What's another one? I got to admit, I've never done an anime ranking on this show, so this is actually kind of fun. Because I'm kind of thinking of the ones that I have watched. Let's see. Trigun. Trigun actually is probably one of the most criminally underrated animes of all time, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, it was well known back in the day, but I felt like it wasn't known enough. You know what I mean? I felt like it didn't get the praise it deserved. I felt like it got its flowers, but it deserved more flowers. I would probably put Trigun, and this is tough for me. And you guys, let me know your rankings, by the way, for everything that I'm putting. But for Trigun, I'm wrestling with A tier versus S tier. Because, first off, I'm having a lot of trouble finding holes in that anime. It had a really good story. Like, honestly, a really good story. The drawings were pretty good. The English voice, I love the English dubbed version of it. Demon Slayer wasn't that. I never watched Demon Slayer. That's actually one of the animes I haven't watched. Oh, if it's a newer anime, I probably haven't watched it at all, unfortunately. Because I haven't really watched a lot of anime in a long time, at least anything new. But yeah, I was thinking about getting back into anime a little bit, at least some of the newer stuff. I think the only real exposure I get to new anime these days is either through my boys Nathan or Billy, for the most part. What was the... I got ADD brain. So I'm going to put Trigun... You know what? I'm going to put Trigun into S tier, because I felt like the storyline was just too good. And then another one, Cowboy Bebop. And I'm putting a lot of these animes in S tier, by the way. Cowboy Bebop was another one. I don't want to put Cowboy Bebop into the S tier, though, because there were... I mean, it was really good, too. It sucks because a lot of these animes that I grew up watching were really incredible. And like I said, Inuyasha was like the only one. Inuyasha was like the only anime that I felt that I didn't get fully into. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really that obsessed with it. Most of the other animes I was totally obsessed with. But yeah, no, I would definitely put like Cowboy Bebop into A tier. I don't think it's necessarily S tier material, but it's definitely up there as a very, very good one. How else are we going to rank this? Because this is getting kind of interesting, man. We're getting into some real interesting territory with this ranking system. And don't forget to tap the like button and tap the subscribe button. You guys Cowboy Bebop had a very sad ending, man. Very, very sad ending. That was the thing about Cowboy Bebop. It didn't necessarily have a happy ending. Oh, you know what? There is one anime I remember watching that was just... There was something about it that just was... It was good. And I'm going to have to put it into A tier because I don't necessarily feel like it's an S tier anime. But did you guys ever watch Gungrave? If you guys have, let me know. It's called Gungrave. I think it's spelled one word, Gungrave. That was a pretty good one too. That's one of those I call it an emotional anime because, man, it takes you on a lot of emotional roller coasters. But yeah, Gungrave is a good one. That's another one you should probably check out if you got some time. It's about like a couple mafia. Well, they're both young guys originally that join the mafia. And of course, the main character actually ends up dying. But what happens is they end up resurrecting him through some sort of serum. It's been a long time since I watched this anime, so I can't remember the overall story. But what they do is they basically bring him back from the dead. And essentially, he has to go up against his old best friend, who happens to be a very corrupt individual now, and is turned into a terrible person, unfortunately. And it's a tearjerker, man. It's a very it's one of those that you just like, whoa, this is hitting me in all the crazy spots mentally. But yeah, Gungrave, I felt like deserves an A. I don't know if that one's, I don't know if it deserves S tier or not. It's very tough to say. But yeah, I think it belongs in A. It's very tough for me to like kind of grade anything with a B. I felt like I might have been a little harsh on Inuyasha by putting it into C tier. I think it's like a C+. Like it could very well slip into the B- tier. But yeah, I just for some reason Inuyasha I just never got fully into. I knew a lot of people who loved it. It was just one of those that was just like, obviously I forgot to put one anime on here, Pokemon. I think we all watched Pokemon back in the day to some degree. Obviously it's a legend. It's obviously a legendary franchise, the Pokemon franchise. So if we were to put Pokemon anime has to go to S tier. There's nothing, it's a classic. It's obviously it's geared towards kids, but it's still a classic anime by all technicality. And I think just because of its longevity, and good characters, decent story. I definitely would put Pokemon into the S tier for anime lists. But yeah, no, there's just so many good animes out there. And by the way, there's also probably a few bad ones that I'm not thinking of or haven't thought of yet. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I'm a little bit tired at the moment. Like I said, I gotta go take a shower. But for those of you who are still remaining, don't forget to tap the like button. Don't forget to tap the subscribe button as well. We need more subscribers. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in many ways. Many men. But yeah, we need you to subscribe, everybody. 'Cause I need you and I want you crawling underneath my skin. Like the hunger, like the burning. All right, you guys, I'm out. I'm Sinful Junior is saying, have a good night, dude. And remember, EA Sports is in the game. I'm gonna try it again. EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game. There we go. But yeah, no, I think I'll be streaming. Is it tomorrow? I think I might stream tomorrow. Maybe. Give me a second to think about that real quick. I'm kind of contemplating when I'll want to stream. Because I know I'm going to try to get up a little bit early tomorrow. EA Sports. It's in EA Sports. It's in the game. Okay, I do it a little bit. EA Sports. It's in the game. I still don't think I do it very well, but I thank you. I think I do the EA Sports in the game okay. I do not consider myself a very good voice impressionist. I think Nick Cage is probably my best one. And I just want to let you know that sometimes Nick Cage, when he's talking, he has a bit of a I'm superior to you inflection. And sometimes I like to sound like Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. Little did the chat know that I had the chat logs the entire time. And as much as I love Chris Hansen loves me. And we all know that Chris Hansen is the greatest detective ever since Batman. Okay. And you know what? You know who Batman really is? It's not Bruce Wayne. It's not Bruce Wayne, dude. It's your boy, Chris Hansen, the greatest detective of all time. I'm Chris Hansen, and I happen to be Batman on NBC.